Welcome to Sister Talk Real Talk, a show where real women discuss real issues. My name is Monique, and I have the honor and the pleasure of being your host every week. On this show, I provide women with information, insights, and perspectives that I hope will enlighten, challenge, and encourage you to live your best life and to walk in your purpose. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. Hello, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Sister Talk Real Talk. I am Monique, and I just have to tell you guys, I really do enjoy being able to do the show and the conversations that are that come up because of me doing the show and your feedback. It really is great to be able to have the conversations with people. I want my home state is Washington State, and I just want to kind of give a shout out to Washington and our friends kind of north. It has been a little bit crazy here. We've had really, really high temperatures, so everybody, stay safe. Make sure you stay hydrated. But in addition to that, there have been some really crazy fires coming from Canada, which has caused our air quality to decrease significantly. So I just want to say, do what you need to do to make sure that you take care of yourselves. There's significant air quality warnings that are out. It's really, really low. Our air quality has dropped below kind of that of Shanghai. If anybody knows kind of sometimes how bad the air quality is there and other places around the world. So just thinking about people, I know that there are some people that have had some issues and challenges. And so, my heart is here. I'm a native, and I just want to say, take care of yourselves. Make sure that, you do what you need to do. Take your medications. If you need to stay inside and be smart, be wise about when you go outside, when you're exercising, things like that. Okay, that's my public service announcement, but it really is from the heart. I just wanted to say that. And I want to say we're continuing the conversation today. This is going to be part 2 of Choose or Chosen. Did you choose or were you chosen? My guest, who really is kind of becoming like a staple on the show here, JC, is in the studio with me again. I don't know how I continue to keep convincing him to keep doing this, because I think maybe it's out of the kindness of his heart, or he just enjoys being able to give me a hard time on air. That might be part of it too.
She bakes.
Oh, you're gonna tell my secret?
Hey,
I have to bribe
she can
him.
bake. Hey,
I have to bribe him.
food works. America's favorite homeboy loves to eat.
Wait. You have self-descripted as America's favorite homeboy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? As noted by the audience of, the votes of one, yourself?
America's favorite homeboy.
America's favorite homeboy. Like, are you right up there with apple pie and baseball?
Yep. And the tipsy bartender.
And the tipsy bartender. Really? You did a shout out to the tipsy bartender?
Tipsy bartender, peace out, my brother.
Okay. I don't know where this conversation is going to go today. I don't know if he's visited the tipsy bartender before he visited me, but maybe we'll be able to reel him in and focus. So if you didn't hear last episode, we don't have time today for me to even recap it. So I'm going to say, go listen to it. But don't stop listening to this episode, because you can listen to this and then, go back and listen to part 1. Part 2, choose or chosen. We're talking about the dynamics of a relationship, whether you're even married and have been married for a period of time, you're in a dating relationship. There really is a significance to a man choosing a woman, not whether or not he decides to marry her or be with her, but in his heart, if he has decided she's the one and he chooses that she is the woman, JC, how did you put it? The woman that he can't
live without. But it's not just as a man choosing. It's the person in a relationship who chooses the other. So a woman can actually choose a man.
Okay, but this is different than what you were saying last time. I'm confused.
Well, we discussed what is the effects of a man choosing a woman. When a man chooses a woman, he treats her a different way.
Right. Than if he's chosen by her. And that's what we were going to talk about this time, right?
Yes, correct.
So it's not that a woman can't choose a man, but it sounds to me like the paradigm shifts. It's a little bit different. It changes. Is that true?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so if a man doesn't choose a woman, he's gonna treat her nice, you
He'll
know.
be good to her.
But when he chooses her, it's like it's a total different respect in the relationship to where he, like I said, you can't live without this woman. So you're gonna do everything in your power to one, let her know that, and two, make sure she feels it every day. So it makes it, you know, impossible for her to not want to be around this guy. Like, he's treating me so well, so nice. This is what I want. I want that guy who wants me. Well, when a man chooses you, he wants you.
Okay, so let's talk about. I love giving people examples and scenarios of how that of how that plays out. Ladies, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna say I've been, dating someone where it seems like, first off they kind of come on real strong, and they're calling and texting you, and then maybe over time that kind of changes, and I can't tell you the number of conversations that I've had with my girlfriends or clients that I've coached where the woman's like, I don't get it. I feel like I don't know if he's that interested. Ladies, okay, I'm going to tell on us. JC, you say you tell on men a lot. I'm going to tell on us. How many times are we sitting? It could be at a coffee shop. It could be sitting at a restaurant, happy hour, dinner, sitting in a living room couch with wine, or it's ice cream, maybe it might be both, popcorn, whatever the case may be, and we're having this detailed conversation with one or several of us where we're saying, well, I don't understand, well, I think he means this, and what does it mean when he does that, and he didn't text me back yesterday but he texted me back today, and I wonder if he really likes me, and I'm sure he's really busy and he's got a lot going on, and I haven't heard from him in a couple of days, and he used to text me every day, but now I'm not hearing from him, and well, should I call him, should I not call him, I really don't know how much he likes me, and is it too soon for me to do this, and all of these questions and angst and anxiety that we go through. Men, if you only knew the stuff you put us through, and we still, for whatever reason, we're just like, we keep coming back for more.
It's not that hard. Women, you don't have to go through that. If a guy don't want you, he don't want you. Cool. But if you want him, you pursue him. But if he don't choose you, keep going to the next guy chooses you.
Or as I hear people say, keep it pushing,
For real.
keep moving. So here's the thing. You can be interested in a guy. We're not saying that it's so old fashioned that you have to sit and wait. It doesn't mean that you can't be interested in a guy, can't approach him. But at some point, ladies, you need to determine whether he's just along for the ride and you're doing all the work and the pursuing, or at some point he decides he chooses you. And when that happens, if that happens, you will know. Because really, you don't have to do a whole lot of anything, do you?
No, see, that's the advantage women have. That's why this is like there's the war of love. It's just it's a battle. Your heart. That's like the prize. And so, a man who chooses you, he chooses your heart. So you really just gotta just show up.
You don't have to. I had a really good friend of mine before a couple of years ago. This is before I met the man, my heart, that I'm in a relationship with now. And a really dear friend of mine said this to me when I was dating and I was going through ups and downs. Like I said, actually, it was several years ago. He said, Monique, and he's married, and he and his wife have been my friend for a really long time, probably like 15, 20 years. And he said this to me. He said, Monique, he said, you have a giving heart. You have a loving heart. You're caring. He said, but you need a man that loves you and adores you just for you. You shouldn't have to do a thing. He should love you and want you for who you are. You shouldn't have to try to do things or try to convince him to be with you. And I didn't even really realize that I was doing that. And it wasn't so much, I wasn't going out going, please, please, baby, baby, I want you to be with me, please. It wasn't that. The way it shows up for us women is, we feel like, well, he didn't call. Well, maybe he forgot. Well, maybe he got busy. Well, maybe he fell asleep. Let me text him. Let me call him. Let me pursue him. And, people talk about we get into the whole women's lib thing and feminism and all of this other stuff. And I think we sometimes as women, we lose sight of the fact that we're still women. And there still is a way that this whole dance, this whole battlefield, that it works. And that if a man really wants you, if a man chooses you, you're gonna know it. Now, if he's half interested, if he's half stepping, if you're someone who's just biding time, if he's playing games, if, as you said, JC, he's a bitter man and he's been through a bunch of stuff and he wants to punish women or whatever the case may be, it will show up. Here's the thing. If you have to ask, I heard this before and it didn't really resonate with me. And JC, tell me if this is correct. If I have to ask, if a woman has to ask and wonder if a guy really is interested in her, he's probably not. Is that true?
Yeah. If you gotta ask the guy, you interested in me, he's not. If you have to ask, because if a man is interested in you, he's gonna make it known. He's not gonna want any other men to come at you. He's gonna show you his kindness. He's gonna expose himself to you, his weaknesses, his vulnerabilities to you, because he trusts you and he hopes that you will feel compassionate enough to accept him.
Can you say that one more time? In case they weren't listening? Can you repeat that? Because we somehow believe that we have the power to convince a man.
No, that's the biggest myth, the biggest joke. You can't convince somebody to love you. They gotta want to love you. They gotta want to be with you. That's being chosen. Now somebody can settle for you because you got a nice physique, you got a nice booty, a nice rack, you're cute and all that. You know what? I just want to be with you. Just she's cute, so I talked to her. I got at her. She's cute, good eye candy, arm candy. You know, so I hollered at her. You know what I'm saying? We together because I don't want to be alone. But when you choose her, then you put the extra effort in. You should. I mean, it's effortlessly to love that woman because you chose to be with her, which means you will do whatever it takes without a second thought. You'll wake up in the middle of the night, go kill a spider, and go right back to sleep with no problem. She can call you at 2 in the
Wait,
morning.
spider killers?
Yeah, guys will do anything. When you choose a woman, you'll do anything. She can call you if you live in a different town, and she'll call you at 2 in the morning because she just wants some ice cream and she doesn't have any. You'll get about to bed at 2 in the morning and drive 1 hour to her house with some ice cream and go back to your house and back to sleep because you chose to be with that woman. You have emotion. You have feelings for her, strong feelings. Like I said earlier, this is the woman that you cannot live without. Without her, I would die. I gotta have her.
Now, are you saying that this is really how most, and we won't say all, but how most men function? I mean, at the end of it all, they really are looking for that woman that I can't live without.
Yes, every man really wants that woman.
And then do men sometimes get to a point where they feel like they've been looking, and they can't get that woman? So
it's that most men have found that woman and they get rejected. She doesn't want them.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because he might not be 6'4" with a six pack, and he might not have the straight jaw, or the long hair.
Or he might not drive a Tesla.
Right. He might not have 7 zeros in his bank account, or he might not even have a bank account. He might not have a driver's license, but he working at McDonald's and he got a ramped up bus pass. You know what I'm saying?
I was not ready for that, JC. Okay, wait. Well, then I've heard women say, I have my standards. He better have this. He better be making at least 6 figures, and he better do this, and he better do that, and all of those other things.
And they normally get the guy that doesn't choose them. The guy that chooses their salesperson. The woman who they pretend to be. And normally they end up with a guy that I mean, if you end up with that guy, you'll never know what it's like to be chosen because you just been settled for.
Now, don't those guys choose women too? Don't they have some that they choose and fall in love with?
Well, it depends. I mean, some guys accept. You settle basically. It's another form of acceptance, settlement. You know what? I wanted her, but the more I learned about her, she was okay. I thought she was the one,
She
but she
had
wasn't
potential.
really. She wasn't really the one. But you know what? She'll do because I don't want to. You know what I
I'm
mean?
tired. I'm tired of being
I
out
build
here.
a routine with her, and I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. And I found somebody. I ain't find the one, but I found somebody.
Okay, so how can a woman tell? Talk to me. Talk to us.
Well, most women can tell by the way their man treats them. Like I said, it goes with the treatment of effortlessly. You know, what will you do? What will you not do for the person who you want to be with? I mean, what are you willing to sacrifice? How much of you are you willing to give up for that woman or for that person? That's
Hmm.
how you know if you've been chosen. When it's effortlessly, when every day you don't have to try. You just do it effortlessly.
And like I said, and before, it doesn't mean that there aren't challenges or you don't have different personalities or you have disagreements or fights, but it means, ladies, that at the end of it all, at the end of the day, at the end of every day, you feel special. You feel like this man, he might have just got on your nerves. You might be really mad at him. But when you sit down and you really think about it, you know that there's nothing in the world that this man wouldn't do for you. Am I getting it right, JC?
Correct.
You know that this man cares about you, that he has your best interests at heart,
And he sacrifices
and
for
he
you.
sacrifices for you. You can tell by the way that he talks to you. So the man that chooses you, he's not going to be the man that's putting you down. He's not going to be the man
Never.
that's calling you out of your name
Never.
because he loves and respects you too much. You're a gift to him. You are someone, you're something that's like, oh, this is my prize. This is what I want.
That
Ladies, he's not the man that's hitting you.
well, the one that chooses you is the one that's going to truly adore you.
Mm.
Like if you ever had a crush on a guy, and you chose him, he might not have chosen you, but you chose him, and you said to yourself, "I'd do anything for that dude."
Mm.
That's how guys feel about a woman when they choose.
So he's not the man that's abusing you. He's not the man that's putting you down. He's not the man that's calling you stupid. He's not the man that's disrespecting you. He might make mistakes. He may do stupid stuff from time to time. Other stuff may happen. You have disagreements because you have different personalities and you're learning each other. But he's not going to be the man that disappears on you and ghosts you for 2 or 3 days and you don't know where he is, or a week. He's not going to be the man that ignores your phone calls. He's not going to be the man that gets annoyed with you. You may call him, have talked to him, hang up. If he's not busy at work, ladies, again, I'm like, use common sense. But let's say it's in the evening, you guys are talking, you could hang up. He's not the man that you sit there and worry about and have to sit there and think for 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, I forgot to tell him something. I really want to call him back, but should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know. I don't know how to respond. Will he get mad at me or not? He's the guy that you hang up to, like, oh, I got to tell him something. You pick the phone back up and he doesn't say, what? What do you want? I just got off the phone with you. Or he doesn't ignore your phone calls for the rest of the night. He's the one that answers the phone and says, what's up, baby? What's going on? Or, hello, yes, what's going on? He doesn't make you feel like you're a problem, that you're something that he has to deal with, that you're someone he has to talk to, and you don't ever have to beg him to spend time with you. Now, you tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you hit the nail right on the head. When a man chooses a woman, he's the guy that's always he wants to spend time with you. He's always gonna have an open door for you. He's got you. He has your back. He's your partner. He's the guy that wants you. Whether you got bad breath, 6 toes, nappy hair,
No
he
hair.
don't care.
6 toes, really?
Yeah, I did get a girl that had 6 toes.
Six,
Literally. Yeah.
6 toes.
Mhm.
On both feet?
On one.
They weren't even equal?
Yeah. She had like an extra toe. It was crazy. But yeah, anyway, the guy that
Obviously, she
chooses.
wasn't the one.
Couldn't get a hand on that foot. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
so
I
yeah.
think that was the too much information. I think that was TMI. But
But yeah, so that when you're chosen, you'll know by the treatment. Now, some women could be chosen just by walking past in a hot skirt. Like, oh my gosh, I think I just met my future baby mama. I just met my future wife, you know. And some guys, they'll make an impulse decision and choose you right then and there and stick with it because, when you just know when it's that person. It's just that you just have that feeling. Now you don't have to accept being chosen.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That
Because we don't want women to settle, right?
right.
Just because a man chooses you doesn't mean you choose him back. But ladies, I will challenge you on this. And I know this is a discussion. Look at what your criteria really is. Is he an honest man? I mean, if at the top of your list is money and a certain type of looks and all of these other things, I would say check yourself. I'm not saying settle. I'm not saying compromise certain things, but I am saying this. If you meet a man that has an amazing heart, your criteria, number one, should be more focused on his character, who he is as a person, his integrity, his level of commitment and loyalty, the type of person he is with his friends, with his family, the dynamic he has, how he treats you, and the level of respect. I'm huge on my relationship with God and religion. Look at that stuff. And look at the man from the inside out instead of from the outside in. Because, we get in a lot of trouble with that. Oh, girl, he's so fine. Oh, girl, he looks so good. Oh, girl, this and that and the other. Well, he looks like this, so I can accept the fact that he doesn't have this amount of money. Or he has this amount of money, and I can accept these things. But he doesn't respect you. He doesn't treat you well. He doesn't make you feel like you're the only woman in the room if there are a million women in the room. He doesn't make you feel like you're that special person. So, okay, fine. He has a lot of money and he has a shiny car. Those are bonuses. Those are, hey, great if he has them. But at the end of the day, the car, the money, the house doesn't do any good when you can't find him and you don't know where he is for 2 days. Doesn't do any good when you're married and you're 2 years in and you're laying in bed and you're crying going, what did I do? I'm more lonely now being married than I was when I was alone. Evaluate the man on the character, on the content of his heart, on who he is. Because that's what you're asking him to value you on. Because I can venture to say that, some of that criteria, you want a man that, like you said, that's 6'4", that's this tall, dark, and handsome, and has a six-pack and has money and all that stuff. So what are you bringing to the table? Are you 5'11", and do you weigh 125 pounds, and do you have the perfect this and all of this other stuff? And, oh, by the way, do you have all that money in your bank account too? Are you his equal, or are you looking for a man to rescue you?
9 times out of 10, those women, they're not chosen. They are not chosen.
They're settled.
Mm-hmm.
They choose the man and they go, okay. Love yourself enough to know that the value that you bring to the table is who you are. And if you want a man to love you, to evaluate whether he wants to be with you, we know that men are visual. We know that stuff catches their eyes, right? We understand that. But at the end of it all, you want to know that he loves you for your character, for who you are, for the person of you. Because outside stuff changes. Hair, breasts, booties, all different kinds of things. They come, they go, they change,
If a man chooses you, he's going to choose you faults and all. Your faults will be like bonuses to him. Most men like a woman who has her stuff together, But if a woman doesn't have all her stuff together, if he chooses you, he's going to work on you to make you better.
And work with you.
He's going to do everything he can to make you feel comfortable. Because every man wants his woman to be comfortable in her own skin. Because if she's comfortable in her own skin, then she's going to be comfortable with my skin next to hers.
That's good. All right.
Now, listen, for you independent, powerful women out there,
Yes.
the ones that been single for so long because you drive a Benz and you make hundreds of thousands of dollars and you just can't find a guy to choose you because you want a guy that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars and drive a bigger Benz and has a degree and an executive because you want to be equally yoked. Honestly, that same guy doesn't have to be equally yoked financially with you. He could be equally yoked with you spiritually, emotionally. He
Intellectually.
he could be that guy that packs your lunch in the morning. You know, the guy that chooses you is the guy that's going to do whatever it takes just to make you smile every day. I'm not saying lower your standards, but pay close attention to your environment. Look at the guy that's looking at you.
Well, I will tell them, I will say, maybe reevaluate your standards. Because how's that worked out for you? Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible to find that, but look under the hood. It might be a really pretty, beautiful, I like cars, car. And you open up the hood and there's no engine. Doesn't do you a lot of good. You know, I there was an acquaintance of mine, and she talked about, well, he has to have this and he has to make this amount of money and he has to look like this physically. I can tell you this, what she was bringing to the table was not all that. And we actually had this conversation. I'm like, really? Because what is it that you're bringing to the table? You have this requirement of all of this from a man, but you're not. And what if you are bringing, what if you are bringing certain things financially to the table, lady, but if your attitude is nasty,
You will not get chosen.
if you
You won't even get settled for.
if you talk down to a man, if you think that the way that because you do make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and you do drive a Benz and you do all of these things and you have all of this stuff, that gives you the right to be nasty and mean and disrespectful, that doesn't fly either. You want a man that is caring, that is loving, that you can be yoked with on the intellectual, emotional, and spiritual level. Then be that person yourself and be open to what God has for you. I think sometimes we miss our opportunities, we miss our blessings because we have sat back and we have got this kind of criteria that really is unrealistic. Or maybe the criteria is somewhat realistic, but the package that is for you doesn't necessarily meet some of the superficial stuff. Because guess what? Everybody found out 2008, 2009, 2007, the market crash and stuff like that. Money comes and goes. I know people that were millionaires then that are not now. But guess what? If you married him for his millions, if you're with him for his millions, and something happens and the millions go away, what are you stuck with when it's gone? But if you marry him for his heart, if you're with a man for who he is, if you're with a man for his integrity and character.
If you choose him, he can lose the millions. But knowing that you're in his corner, you can help him build millions up again.
Yeah, you can.
Teamwork. So, ladies, set yourself up to be chosen. Be confident in who you are. Be honest with yourself. Walk with a smile in your heart. Men love women who are confident.
And kind.
Who look like they don't really need a man, but would like one. Showcase you just by living your happy life. That's the best way to see if you can be chosen. Being single is a choice. It's not an option. It's a choice. You choose to be single because you choose not to put yourself in a position to be chosen, or you put yourself in a position not to choose. You can choose. Just remember that you can choose, or you can be chosen.
Or we put ourselves in a position where we continually choose the wrong types of men over and over and over again. Our criteria for what's acceptable. I had a conversation with, before I met the man that my heart, the man that I'm with now, with my adopted daughter. And we were talking about the kind of man, she's grown, she's in her 20s. And we were talking about the kind of men that we had dated and different things like that. And this was a while back. And, he said, you know what? There are men that, that show up and that want to date and that want to date us. But just because they do doesn't mean that we have to accept it. What I'm willing to accept is a man that's ready. And by ready, that's that emotional, that's that intellectual. That is meeting those standards that I have in place, what I require of me as I function, my integrity as a person. I want to be with someone that meets that mirrors that. And nowhere in the conversation did it come into how much money he makes, what kind of car he drives, what kind of house he has. Because that stuff comes and goes. Those are bonuses. And I'm not saying, hey, if that's your criteria, great. If it's going to work for you, great. But remember that those should be the bonuses. But the core, the essential, the critical criteria, who is he and who are you? What are you bringing to the table? And what is it you want and need?
Are you worthy to be chosen?
And on that, I'll leave it with that. Ladies, are you worthy to be chosen? And look around. Talk back to me. Let me know. What do you think about this? Do you think this is just a bunch of stuff? Did you ever think about it this way? Do you think that you've passed up on a guy that chose you and you're looking back going, man, he was a good guy? I've heard women say, he was a really good guy, but, I just wasn't that attracted to him. Sometimes we're attracted to the wrong things. Those bad boys, that's a whole nother show. The good boys versus the bad boys and what we choose and what we look for and what we want. But if you're looking for love, if you're in love, if you're in a relationship, step back and do a little bit of evaluation. How is he treating you? Does he treat you like the world, like the sun rises and sets with you, that the world revolves around you? Does he treat you like you are one of the most important things or the most important thing in his life? Does he treat you like your priority and number one? And JC, like you said, does he adore you? I think that's a great litmus test.
Have you been chosen yet?
Or
are you ready to choose yourself?
Talk back to us. Let us know. This is Real Talk. Facebook, Sister Talk Real Talk. Twitter, Sister Talk and the number 4 and Real. Let me know. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, and we'll tell you would you even choose yourself? Something to think about.
And on that, I'm going to leave that question with you. Would you choose yourself? Thanks for listening. I hope that this has given you some food for thought. And we'll be back again with another interesting, controversial conversation. Until next time, keep it real. Thank you for listening to Sister Talk Real Talk. I hope that today's show has informed, enlightened, encouraged, or challenged you. We're always on doing this thing called life with you throughout the week. You can catch us on Facebook and on Instagram at Sister Talk Real Talk and on Twitter at Sister Talk for Real. That's Sister Talk, the number 4, Real. Let's continue the conversation throughout the week. You can catch all of our shows on our blog at sistertalkrealtalk.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Until then, keep it real.